Oh, goody.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Zombies here again, and today we're back with another Marvel Snap video. So today we have an update on Infinity Split Rate communications and compensation. So if you haven't been paying attention to the issue, Infinity Splits were bugged for a while, and they were giving less good odds than we had typically had for getting inked, gold, and crackle splits on your cards. This was eventually discovered by the community, Second Dinner confirmed it was a thing, ended up fixing it, and some compensation was rolled out, which we'll cover here in their statement. But a lot of people weren't super duper happy with the compensation, as it was kind of a one-size-fits-all thing, and some players were more adversely affected by this issue than others. Most notably, the people who pay a lot of money to split their cards more and more were more affected than those who don't do that. And so many of those players felt this compensation wasn't really adequate. Even free-to-play players found themselves frustrated with the fact that even if they hadn't been spending money for these splits, they were using their boosters and getting those worse rates. And now that we have this time period where we're getting increased rates to make up for it, well, maybe you just don't have the boosters to actually split your card during these rates. So there were a lot of different players who found themselves not super happy with the resolution. And we've gotten some messaging on this over time, like, yeah, we're talking about it still, and well, today they finally have something to share with us. So let's take a look at what it is. Thanks to everyone who shared their feedback on the Infinity Split issues and the compensation that followed. After identifying and fixing the issue, we made the decision to temporarily boost Infinity Split rates of Ink, Gold, and Crackle to be higher than they were previously. This means the rates will be boosted for roughly the same amount of time as the reduced rates were active. In addition to this boost, we delivered a Magneto variant as well as one Cosmic Rainbow border. Since then, you've shared your thoughts and opinions with us surrounding this compensation. While we feel that the rate boost variant and border are fair to the average Snap player, we recognize that the one-size-fits-all plan wasn't meeting expectations for equitable compensation. Before we dive into how we plan to remedy this, we want to quickly outline the challenges and considerations we worked through in order to arrive where we did. So, delivering the exact boosters used by each player for each split conducted during this period is not feasible. The affected Infinity Splits are on the 4th character split and higher, which means this bug affected higher collection level players on average more than others. Identifying the usage of purchase credits and boosters versus earned currencies like missions, login rewards, etc. is also not feasible. Splits during the errant split rate timeframe still earned collection value progress and the rewards along its track. The currently active boosted split rates mean that any compensation using credits and boosters has a higher current value. The plan. We've created different compensation tiers based on the total number of affected splits each player made during the time frame in question. The amount of compensation per tier will be based upon the splits made by the median player in each tier. Compensation takes the following factors into account: errant Ink, Gold, Crackle rates during the time in question, current boosted split rates, initial collection progress achieved, previous compensation, and boosters will be for a random character per 155 boosters. So, what does it actually look like? We can see the tiers here. 7 different tiers shows the amount of average splits to fall into that tier and what each tier is rewarding. Tier 1 is 1 split with 15 boosters and 150 credits as the compensation. Tier 2 is 30 boosters for 2 splits, 300 credits. Tier 3 is 5 splits, 75 boosters, 750 credits. Tier 4 is 10 splits, 155 boosters, and 1,525 credits. Tier 5 is 50 splits, 775 boosters, and we see a pretty big jump to 7,625 credits. Tier 6 is 100 splits with 1,550 boosters, 15,250 credits, and Tier 7 is a whopping 200 splits with 3,100 boosters and 30,500 credits. So I guess the big question mark here is, I would imagine most people don't know where they fall on this chart. I don't know where I fall on this chart. Worth noting, these splits are only taking into account the splits that are after the initial 3 where you don't have a chance at Inked or Gold or Crackle. So that is likely what they are counting for the splits we're seeing in this chart. If I were to take a guess, I would imagine almost nobody has any idea where they fall in this chart. So TLDR is just keep an eye out in your inbox. We don't know exactly when this is going out. This is just the communication about it. And we are headed into the weekend, so I doubt this is going to go out today or over the weekend, but keep an eye out in the near future on your inbox because that is where this is going to be delivered. So if you see a random amount of boosters and credits showing up in your inbox, this is what it is for. So yeah, nice to see some additional compensation here. I'm curious to see what the general reaction and consensus about it is. Obviously, one of the points raised was that this issue didn't affect everyone the same, so it's not really surprising that the compensation is also not going to do that because some people were more negatively affected by it than others. Honestly, I didn't think we were going to see any additional compensation here, so I think that is a good thing. I don't really have too much of an opinion on the exact numbers because I don't really know where I fall on this chart, and I wasn't someone spending a whole lot of money to chase splits during the time where this was a issue. So we'll see what happens when the stuff shows up in the inbox, but hopefully this makes people feel like their concerns are being heard a bit more than they were initially. And I think this is also a good reminder to not listen to the people who tell you to shut up and quit complaining about something you're unhappy with, because sometimes those complaints can get results. Because if everyone was like, all right, the initial round was good enough, you probably wouldn't have seen any of this. So sometimes complaints get the job done. But yeah, that's all the information on this issue. I'm curious to hear from you and what you think about it. I know this was a hot topic in the community. So how do you feel about the presumably final compensation we're getting for the issues with the splitting rates? Let me know in the comments below. Before we close things out, I do want to mention, you may have noticed there have been less videos going up recently. That's because my focus has shifted a little bit here. Instead of being super focused on video content, I've been more focused on live streaming content. If you don't know, I dual stream, so I stream on Twitch and here on YouTube right now 5 days a week. Eventually, I'm sure the video content will make a bigger return, but for the time being, it just feels like there's not a whole lot of stuff to go off of in Snap in the news department. But as that changes, you'll probably see more stuff, especially with the upcoming return of Deadpool's Diner, which I'm definitely going to be covering. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this one. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.